I was so scared when they mentioned the COVID-19 and what it does and how it separates you with your family. If you get sick, you're not going to go back home. They will have to bury you where you are. You know, all those stories.
Yeah.
I've always been that person who's very frustrated with all the rules and all
The
these
routine.
things, the routines, coming to work like 8 to 4 or 9 to 5. I've always been that person who's like,
Give
if you say your
attention to
child
detail.
is struggling there and there, let me see if I can figure out what the problem is. You know, check what's happening around you. You cannot say, my mother, so, this, and then you take all these things that your mother was teaching you and you try to impose them on these ones. And it's a struggle. So as a parent, you just need to intervene where your child has an old woman as a teacher who expects them to be quiet. We're teaching children how to be resilient. If you do it the first time and it does not work, don't give up. Don't label yourself as a failure. Find another way of doing it. You might be a unique learner. Maybe you've got a different style. So I've had learners that were like struggling. They bring them but already level 1. But today they're A students.
Hi everyone, welcome to Motivation Corner, your favorite podcast and the biggest podcast in the world. Guys, it's hard to say podcast. Sorry, am I saying it quick? The biggest podcast in the world. My name is Ramogayane, your favorite host and content creator. Welcome here to another beautiful episode, inspiring episode, a positively infused episode. And if you are here for the first time, you are most welcome and thank you for clicking by. Please stay, man. You the guest that I have today, you really have to sit down and listen to this conversation. Please don't stop the video now. Just give us 2 minutes and you'll love it. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming over and over and over and over again. And shout out to you. Shout out to all the supporters, the people who watch my content every day. Thank you so much, guys. And today, guys, I have someone that we've been trying to set up an appointment for months now, more than 6 months. And just the odds were against us. But I always believe in God's timing more than anything. So I believe this one is ordained by God, and I pretty sure that it's going to change your life. So stay tuned as we welcome my guest, the beautiful Miss Ruth Ramogayane, a humanitarian, a person who loves people, who love young people, who's got a young people's hearts in mind, and someone who loves God, a mother, a sister, and a philanthropist. I think you love people and you love giving them. So welcome, Ruth, and thank you so much for honoring the invite after a long time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Greet my people.
Oh, hello everyone. Thank you for being here. Hello viewers of the podcast. Hi.
Yeah. Okay. Who is Ruth?
Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
Ruth is a young black South African who was born in Limpopo, and she grew up in Witbank. I think we moved from Limpopo when I was 4 years, and we moved to Witbank. So I grew up in Witbank. I started school in Witbank. I did my high school in Witbank. I only left for Pretoria when I started my university. And I stayed in Pretoria for almost 15 to 16 years. Then afterwards, I came back to Witbank. Yes, that's Ruth.
You're like me. Mina, I came to Witbank 2005. I've been here. I haven't left.
Yes.
Land of Hardy, Witbank. At least now you came back. Why did you come back though?
Well, it wasn't by choice. I stayed there. I remember I worked in Pretoria. I started working in Pretoria. After finishing my first degree, I started working in Pretoria. And then from there, 2015, I remember I had to come back this side because I lost my job. And then I came back. I started working in Witbank for some time. Yes, and then I went back to Pretoria I got a job. I was staying in Pretoria, but I was working in Randburg. So I stayed there until I came back in 2020. Then since then, I never went back.
So why did you come back the second time? Because you had your job?
The second time, it was the COVID-19 issues. So I was working in a college at that time. So the college had to close because of the COVID stories and stuff like that. So I had to come back. And
so
I never went back. When I came back here, I got an opportunity to work with the Witbank High School. So I thought maybe it's about time I stay here, because I was so scared when they mentioned the COVID-19 and what it does and how it separates you with your family. If you get sick, you're not going to go back home. They will have to bury you where you are. You know, all those stories.
Yeah.
So it was so scary. I decided to okay, let me be here next to my family. And then
So you left voluntarily because of the COVID?
Yes, I left because of the
Not
COVID.
because there was no job for you there?
Basically, with the college, we closed. We had to close up. And then
But there's
everybody...
always online and stuff.
The online part, I've always done the online part. I've always done different jobs online. So, but I needed something that will keep me throughout the day and all of that.
So you've always been a side hustle girl?
Yeah, I've always been do something on the side.
Serious?
Yes. I've always
How
been
did you
there.
come about that? Because me now, I have more than 15 years employed and I've never had a side hustle. Really? Now, it's only now that I'm trying out this podcasting thing, because I know I can ditaba. So I'm let me ask question. Maybe it's going to pay me.
Yeah.
But I've always been that girl who goes to work, come back. My life was just like that. So how did you come up about that? Was it money?
No, it wasn't money.
You getting
as such.
bored?
It was just me feeling limited in a workspace. I've always been that person who's very frustrated with all the rules and all these things, the routines, coming to work 8 to 4 or 9 to 5. All of that was just frustrating. So I wanted something that will give me freedom. So I would want to do something that allowed me to be myself without limitations. You know, in a work environment, you are expected to behave in a certain way, to dress in a certain way, to talk in a certain way, to handle yourself in a certain way. But when you do your thing, you're working, you're making money, but you're still yourself, and you enjoy that, working in your own space.
What did you used to do, maybe?
I always did tutoring. I've always been that tutor, the one who's helping others with their studies.
You've always been passionate to make sure that...
Yeah.
Why do you like tutoring? Is it because you believe that not all of us... You believe that it's not like how shuleya. It's because sometimes you need extra attention.
I've noticed that the system has limited a lot of learners. And they have identified themselves as learners with barriers, when it's only that they are unique. It's not that they really have academic issues or they're not academically gifted. It's only that they have a different style of learning. And it requires a very attentive teacher to pick a learner's style of learning. So most teachers are not focused on that.
Because
so
it's
now,
babangata.
Yeah, babangata. So I've always been that person who's if you
attention
say your
to
child
detail.
is struggling there and there, let me see if I can figure out what the problem is. Because it's a problem. Remember, in our times, you'd been in a classroom of 42 learners, and then you get 2 learners failing. And then the rest of us, we pass to the next grade.
And
but nowadays,
we normalized it.
It was normal. But nowadays, you find that 50% of the learners in a class, but they're academically challenged. And I'm like, how did we get to this?
Yeah, then how did we get there?
How did we get to this?
Because, in our times, man, the Bantu education, we never really... had so many challenges.
Yes, we never struggled.
Even the pass mark was 50, no debates, no nothing, 50 upwards. And we never had so many. And we never even also attended your winter classes, your Saturday classes.
Programs.
What is happening? Tell me. Since you are working closely with them, what is really happening?
I think the education system has changed. And
drastically.
Then it puts a learner in a position where you need to learn how to teach yourself self-regulated learning.
Oh.
So with our system, we were taught by the teacher. You just go there, the teacher speaks, and then you take whatever they're saying, and then if you have a skill to cram that, you go to the exam room, you write, and then does it. But with the learners now, they are required to challenge a certain things. They have to be part
the homeworks
of the learning.
Challenging me.
Exactly.
I'm like, why are they asking the kids all this?
Yeah.
What are the teachers doing if they want the kids to do
Exactly.
So that's the change. But it's a beautiful change, though.
It's a beautiful change, but
Because
we were
it
never
creates
prepared.
independence.
But we were never prepared for this. That same beautiful change has got learners believing that they are sick, or they've got psychological issues, or there's a problem
Or
with
they're
them,
dumb.
or they are stupid, or they are dumb, as you say, Wabon. So that change it's a good change if you're looking at it from the book.
Yeah.
But when you have to put it in practice, it's not really a good change.
So you think it was not transitioned very well?
Yes.
We also as parents needed to be put in the knowing.
Yes.
Oh.
So it's very difficult, having to deal with a child losing their confidence. It's hard, because now you find that the issue is the child failing at school. But when you get to interact with the child, you learn that there's issue of confidence, there's issue of identity. There's a lot of issues here, and then all those issues are created by this system that makes learners believe that they are not good enough because they're not getting the same grades as others and what. It accommodates only a few learners. So it's not for every learner. Hence, we are here.
But is the department aware that this is because it's having negative results?
They are very much aware, but their solution, it's not really a solution. It's like they're taking a blanket and just covering the problems because they are saying the learners must just pass. When a learner is like 18 years old or 19 and they're in grade 10, push the learner. You see, unless the learner is identified at an early stage and they are taken to a special school, when they are already in high school, there's nothing we can do. Just push them, and then they will see. After matric, they will see. If they fail matric, then they will see what they.
And also, I've realized that this sickness, ADHD, is so rife now.
Yeah.
What is happening?
I think there's a lot of misdiagnosis, and the diet, and the society has changed. What we eat, how we live our lives, and I just feel that we don't have to use a lot of big words and diagnose these learners. Let's just come up with ways of helping them change their lifestyle, and in that way we will know. Guti, it's like swikiri. Do you see the number of people who are diabetic now?
It's a lot.
Why is that? It's the food. So every sickness, every sickness that has been growing in our community, you find that the problem is in the lifestyle. So you find that you bring a learner to me, I work with the learner, I end up telling them how to live their lives, like what you should eat, how you should live your life, how you must play sports, you are going to sleep, exercise, manage your time, avoid too much TV, avoid social media. All these things are causing a lot of depression, and then they are causing these learners to be anxious, and then at the end of the day you find that they are using these big psychological terms to diagnose them. And the minute they give it a name and they diagnose you, it paralyzes you.
Even us as parents, because we lack information, then
it paralyzes you.
And that's true. My son, my older son, he started speaking perfectly at 4 years old.
Yeah.
Do you know that most kids, they start speaking at 1 year, 6 months, 2 years, they're already fluent and so he took time to talk, and I think his dad is Venda, I'm Sotho, and then at crash, obviously it's English. So I will speak to him in my language, and then his father in his language. At school it's English. Then he will speak gibberish, man. And then I was worried now. I'm like, you are at any gatherings, people can't even hear what your child is saying.
Yeah.
We are having a problem more.
Yeah.
And then I took him to the hospital, Ramogayane General Hospital, and I went to the speech therapy department. And at the speech therapy, especially for the kids, there's a lot of toys, like drawings and all that. So what will your child do when they get there? they're not going to give you attention. They're going to give attention to the
focus on-
toys and focus on everything. Even when they're talking to you, they're not looking at you. They're looking
busy,
at this.
yeah.
So that's what happened. The speech therapist was talking and he was not giving her attention. You know what that lady said? He said, my child has ADHD. And transferred me to the pediatrician. And then when I get to the pediatrician, obviously there were other people. And he will once in a while want to touch something, but mostly he was controllable.
Okay.
And then I go to him and he's like, he reads the letter. Like, this one, they're crazy. This child doesn't have ADHD. And he's like, do you know a child with ADHD? They wouldn't be sitting still.
Yeah.
They would be climbing chairs and tables and everything. So that's when I realized that this misdiagnosis is dangerous. Because what if that one was also not attentive?
Yeah.
They were going to give him medication. And now we will have a child that we believe has an ADHD. Kanti, the solution was just to speak one language with him up until he knows it. Then later on, we can introduce other languages. So we had to make a decision as a family that this is what we're going to talk to him in. We speak English with him. And later on, when he's older, he will learn other languages.
Yeah.
That's how the problem gets solved. And I went to the teacher, and the teacher said, no, he doesn't have a problem. He will speak. I'm like, but he's already 4. And he's like, no, he will talk. If there was a problem, mommy, I was going to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, this diagnosis is really dangerous. So I concur with you when you say we should stop labeling things.
Yeah.
Maybe they were supposed to say, no, just stick to one language or try other means.
Yeah. Because language is learned.
Yeah.
So if a child is struggling with language or speaking, it's learned. Just maybe they should have checked if maybe he's got issues with pronouncing words, like maybe using the most important organs when they were supposed to speak. If a child maybe wants to say, like with my niece, she would say, this thing is she would mix English with isiZulu or English with Sepedi. Wabon, I'm kakaring myself. You see, I'm kakaring myself. She's pronouncing the word right, but she's not speaking proper language. So maybe I don't know. I'm just thinking that there are certain things that you check when you interact with the child. You check if this is a problem or maybe it's just what we can fix. Maybe it has to do with the background. Maybe it has to do with the family setting and stuff like that. Yeah.
Also, we can also urge the professionals to really be sure before they can diagnose.
They are humans. Yeah, they are humans. There's always error. Yeah, they are humans. So once you start relying on that, you'll miss out on so much.
So it's important to different opinions.
I always say, when there's an issue with your child, before you could use these big terms, diagnose the child and give them this heavy weight of a sickness that they do not understand themselves, try to use simple ways of trying to deal with the situation. You can try to, maybe if it's studying, you can try different study methods. You can try different style of teaching them. And then you see how they respond. Then afterwards, after you have tried everything, that's when I believe you can say, there's a problem. Because I tried this, I tried that, and it never worked. Yeah, because with all these professionals, they're also human.
With this conversation, you're just making me realize that we are raising a different kind of breed.
Yeah.
It's not
difficult
like how our parents raised us.
Yeah, difficult, totally different.
It needs what from us? A lot of attention.
Yeah, it requires that we move from what we know, and we work on what is required of us. Check what's happening around you. You cannot say, my mother, so this, and then you take all these things that your mother was teaching you and you try to impose them on these ones. These ones need you to be attentive. You have to pay attention on them and then look around you, how the society has transformed. Look at how the society has changed. You look at us and how we grew up. Rena, we were raised by parents who were not even educated. And we managed to do our homeworks by ourselves. We managed to go register yourself, go university by yourself. Everything we did, we were very independent. But these ones are different. The system has changed, and everything requires that a parent becomes part of
Everything,
it. Everything.
yeah.
It's
You
education, it's anything. There's nothing that a child can do without umutswadi. So as a parent now, you cannot be comfortable where you are, and you cannot be comfortable with the knowledge that you have. If you are a parent and then you are ignorant and you lack knowledge, your kids are going to suffer. So that one, it's a stretch for Rena as parents. It's a stretch for the teachers. You know, the old age teachers are no longer relevant. And we still have them. We still have them. And it's a struggle. So as a parent, you just need to intervene. Where your child has an old woman as a teacher who expects them to be quiet. You know, they will ask, why must I be quiet? But I want to talk. Why must I be quiet? So you mean I should stay like for 30 minutes without talking? Come on, ma'am. It makes no sense. You see, now they are challenging you.
Why do I have a mouth and voice and...
Exactly. Why? They will give you all the reasons they have. One understand, why must we talk? And when as a teacher, you want them to be quiet. Rena, in our days, if they say shh,
we are very obedient.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a different generation.
But Ruth,
But I'm loving them.
You're loving them.
Yes.
Let's talk about the important part of your life, Maputle legacy.
Yeah, Maputle legacy.
How did we birth this baby?
Wow. This baby was born in 2021. Yeah, on the day after my birthday, I remember. So I left Witbank High at that time. I was working at Witbank High, so I left Witbank High. When I got to Witbank High, I had an idea of what I wanted to do. I had a company by the name Affitude for Life. So I was going to focus on that before I got to Witbank High. And then I happened to get a job there. Then I started working there. And then afterwards, for some reasons, I left. And then I was there. I wanted to go back to my Affitude for Life and work on it. And as I was planning for Affitude for Life, I was sitting there. And then I thought to myself, I've got so many programs that I have developed in my experience working with learners from university, college, high school, and primary school. And there's something that I have identified that most people have not identified that I believe could be the solution to the issues that we have with children struggling academically. So I was like, maybe it's about time. Maybe it's about time I get out there. But my focus and my mind was on the learners who do not have resources. You know, the learners from disadvantaged background. So I was like, you find a learner who comes from this uptown schools and you find a learner from Ekasi, there's a difference. So there's something that I have learned in my exposure with the learners from there and then the learners from here that I can bring to these ones.
Yeah.
So I sat there with myself and I said, I think it's about time I do this. And then immediately I started working on that and planning it, and that's how Maputle Legacy was born.
So was it going to be like an NGO?
It is an NPO even now.
Oh.
Yes, it's an NPO even now. So I decided, Philly, it's an NPO. That's what I'll be doing.
You don't get paid?
I do get paid because I charge. It's an NPO, but yes, my services are not for free. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, I do have some, cases where I'm helping, and then
that you like.
Yeah,
they can't.
We have a program, an upcoming program for learners at township who do not have psychological help or assistance from their schools. Every school must have a psychological counselor or a counselor or a social worker. So you find that the schools in townships do not have all of that. So we have an upcoming program where we are going to offer those services. There's never one. So we are having a program that is coming up where we will be helping those disadvantaged schools, and we will be doing it for free. So we will be assisting all the learners who are struggling behavioral problems, academic issues, and all of that.
So what do you do? Like when you wake up in the morning, what do you do?
Oh, okay. I'm a CEO, a founder of Maputle Legacy Foundation. It's Maputle Legacy Foundation Schools. So what we do is we have different types of programs. Okay. We have after-school support programs where we are helping learners with homeworks and all their academic challenges. Okay. We have the Master Your Study program.
That's number two.
Yes, that's number 2. Master Your Study program is the program that I am running myself, where I'm helping learners. I'm teaching them how to study. I'm exposing them to different types of learning methods. I'm exposing them to different types of study methods and the things that they should work on.
Like in tertiary, where you go for study skills or
yeah,
whatever?
Yes.
Okay.
But this one, I'm doing it for like grade 4s to grade 12s. So from grade 4, a learner must know how to study. When they're saying there are exams, what do you do when you study? And then if I go to the classroom and the teacher teaches, and then I go back home, I write my homework. After writing my homework, what do I do? Because now you've got like 7 or 6 subjects that you're doing. There's social science, there's technology, there's
you don't know how to manage.
So how do I manage that? So Master Your Study program is basically where we're teaching children how to be resilient. If you do it the first time and it does not work, don't give up. Don't label yourself as a failure. Find another way of doing it. You might be a unique learner. Maybe you've got a different style. So we expose them to different styles. What I do is I interact with them and then I get to know the learner. And then I try different learning methods with them until we get to the one that resonates with them. And then from there we work on that. And I've had amazing results.
I can imagine. Because you give them all your attention. And I believe you can't do this without passion, eh?
No. No, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't. It's passion that drives us. So you have to be patient. You have to love them. You have to love what you do. You have to be convinced of all these things that you are bringing to them. You have to believe them, that they work, so that the learner will believe. You find someone who's got low self-esteem, someone who's crushed.
They are not. They can't do anything.
Even when they walk into your room or the session to the session, you see that this child is rebellious, not because they are bad people, but because someone has labeled them. There's a teacher or there's a parent or there's someone who has diagnosed them and told them this big word that they can't even pronounce. Or when you've got this, you are this. And then now they walk in with that. I've had parents who will bring a learner who failed term 1, term 2, and term 3. Then they bring them to me at term 4. And they pass. I've had learners that were like struggling. They bring them but already level 1. But today they're A students. They get level 7s. So those strategies are really working. I've seen them. Now that on its own gives me that.
Getting chills.
Yes. That on its own, it gives me the confidence, even when you bring a child, I'm like, on Thursday, last week Thursday, a parent brought a learner, and then the mother is very discouraged. Hey, this, hey, that. I said, you came alone, bring the child with you. Then she went home, she brought the child. They walked in. It's a boy child. And then he was walking. You can see that he's angry from the face.
Yeah.
And then I was like, where is his father? And then she looked at me and said, where did she grow up? Who did she grow up with? Wabon. And then the mother looked at me like the questions were not even relevant. She wanted me to ask about his studies and everything. Me now I was asking about different things.
So you know what to do.
Exactly. I could tell from his face, or this one, he's got issues with the father. He's got issues at home. She's angry with his mother. He's angry with his mother because maybe the mother or stuff like that. So that's where it started. And then I said, okay, give me the child. Give me 2 months. I'll work with the child. And then I drafted a program for the child. And then I told the parent, give me 2 months. And then after 2 months, this child will know how. He's in grade 6, but he can't read. So he can't read isiZulu, he can't read English. He's just...
How is he in grade 6 now?
I don't understand. Like I said, they look at the age and then they push the child because they can't deal with that. They don't solve problems. They cover up the problems. So I started with the phonics, grade 1 work with the learner. Like
Ruth.
go. I started there. I'm telling you. I started with the phonics, you know.
Guys are God sent.
Exactly. I started with the phonics, and I'm telling you, after 2 months, the parent... I never advertise a lot on Facebook or social media, but I've got about close to 100 learners.
Yo.
And why is that? Because you give me one learner, I work on the learner, and then the learner will bring 5 more learners.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm using the old system of advertising and marketing, word of mouth. So I know if I work on that child, there are so many kids that are having the same problem.
Or even
and
in class, they're gonna
Exactly.
the teacher maybe gonna ask.
How
what did you do?
I do have situations where teachers will call me. What did you do? What happened? Why? Why is he's different now? You see. So I noticed there's a need. There's a need because we're not paying attention. We are very busy.
What is the other program you're still telling me about?
Yes,
the program?
the second one is the
one.
Master Your Study program, and then this third one, it's the reading one, the literacy, and that's where we're teaching phonics. Basically, when we designed this program, it was for the foundation phase, but we have learners in high school who still needs that.
Ruth.
I'm telling you, we have learners in high school who cannot read, who cannot write, who cannot speak. And you can see what the
What
problem
do they do
was
with their phones? Because these kids have phones.
I don't know. They watch TikTok, people dancing and all of that. They are not interested because someone gave them a label and they labeled them. They told them that you are this, you are.
And you can't do anything.
Rena, our job is to change that, to make them unlearn everything that they were taught, like about themselves, the views that they have. We want to tell them, no, you are not this, you are this. You just find something, you are beautiful, you've got a beautiful skin, and then the child start smiling.
But I think even us as parents, we need counseling, because sometimes we also add.
Yeah, we add because we are frustrated, remember? You go to work, you come back, and you expect the kids to appreciate the fact that you are giving them what you never had. And Bona, they never had what you had. So
like they
don't
can't
understand.
Really, why
must I be grateful?
Vele, you brought me.
Yeah, I mean, why must I be grateful? Or every Friday we go eat somewhere, go
Is
cappuccino.
It not how it's supposed to be?
How? When not just because you grew up, it's not that wabon, and then you think to know and understand. So we are very angry because we feel like they don't appreciate or you bought them expensive shoes or sneakers and all of that. It requires for us to adjust. As Batswadi. Yeah, so
the other program,
it's then we have that one. Then we have a character build. One of the things that I have discovered is that one of the issues that learners have, the course is character. You see, and then the learners who do not have proper upbringing in terms of character, they become a problem even in a workplace. The reason why I will go to Home Affairs and find a lady who treats people like they're nothing, like they're trash, it's because of character. So character is something that sticks with you forever. So it's very important that we build the child's character at an early age. So what I do is I do a character build programs. Every June school holidays, we have a character build program.
I think I must bring my son.
Yes, we have a character build. We teach them kindness. We teach them how to be generous, how to be kind, how to treat other people, how to talk, all those things. You see. So
the reason I'm saying I must bring my son, his problem, he's too kind and what do we call it, sympathetic or empathetic?
Yeah, and
let's say his friend is not doing well, he takes that and he gets worried. Or if his friend is treated in a certain way, and he takes that and he gets worried, and then now he can't cope with his own things because he's worried for this person.
Yeah.
So what do we do for them?
I think that one you must look at yourself.
It's me, ne?
Yeah, it's you. What sometimes as parents we teach them by what we do. Our kids learn from our actions. So if you
Let's
are
say
that
I've
kind of a
been
parent, you've been
selfless for
very
a long-
kind. Yeah,
for a
you've
long
been
time.
showing that element of kindness and then being selfless. The child takes that. And then they deal with it differently because they are young. Until when you work on yourself and look at yourself and what have you been preaching. You might not have said it.
So even
but
if when I'm very apologetic I'm gonna give.
yeah. If you have a daughter and your husband is busy mistreating you and you are apologizing, you are being...
Every time.
Your daughter learns that and they believe a man must beat you up and you must apologize, you must... Unless
Even when
have,
you're not wrong.
Yeah, unless you have a unique child who will say, I don't want this. It doesn't feel right. One understand, and then they decide to do the opposite of what you are doing. But otherwise, as parents, our behavior is very important. The children are looking at us. So you must look at yourself.
Yes,
in that
teacher.
one...
It's me most of the time.
Yeah, it's you.
Wow. I'm going to ask you this question.
Yeah.
You sound so knowledgeable in all of this. What did you study? Maybe someone has the same passion as you are, but sometimes passion alone is not enough.
It's not
you
enough.
need a formal education to back you up.
Yeah.
What did you study, and who can pursue this kind of career?
Yeah, I studied psychology undergrad.
Okay.
I did psychological counseling, my first degree. Then after I went into teaching, I did B.Ed, educational psychology. Then I furthered my studies in that area. Yeah, the Bachelor of Education. My focus was on educational psychology. So yeah, that's my field.
I know you are very much of an education girl. Why so much? Why do you believe so much in education?
Education liberates you. It gives you a platform to think in different ways. It gives you a platform to be in America when you are in South Africa.
Yeah.
It gives you that thing of knowing things and understanding things. It gives you confidence, you can stand wherever, you can do whatever. In fact, the purpose of education was so that I remember when I left home for university, my dad said to me, because I was living and most of my siblings were studying go TUT. So I came up with this thing, I want to go to Pretoria, I don't want TUT, I want university. And my dad said to me, go, but come back with a solution to all the problems that we have here. Don't go forever. Go, come back. So the purpose was for me to go there, find things that could help solve the issues of my community. So education gives you access to resources. They might not be material things, but knowledge is a resource.
But the ability to think and have a solution in mind. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, that's what I love about education. Yeah, and I love education.
What are we forgetting in terms of Maputle Foundation? This is your baby. Maybe I might not ask all the necessary questions, but there is that important aspect of Maputle Foundation we might have forgotten. What can we say about it?
I can say that Maputle Foundation is the most relevant organization for the education. We are still growing, but each year there's always an improvement. So it's growing. We are getting more clients, more learners.
I'm sure even after this we're going to get more, because who wouldn't want to bring their child to, like, from how you speak, I'm already confident that my child is going to get like fabulous support.
Yeah, we love learners, and I have tutors who are well trained. Even on next week, Saturday, we are having a training for the tutors. And then, we are growing, man. It's just an organization that is needed.
It's much needed.
Yeah,
do you work together? What is the difference between what you're doing and the what is this psychometrist?
No, we don't do that. I'm not registered. I don't.
You don't do those tests
until I'm registered. Hopefully, by the end of this year, I will be able to have my own practice. Okay. Then I can be in that field. Otherwise, at this moment...
But is it still the same thing?
It's not the same. What I am doing, it's a bit different.
Okay.
It's a bit different. Mine is more it's more, you know, when I got in here, I saw the diary of a CEO. You see that guy there is one of the guys that I look up to.
Yeah.
He's focused on the small things.
Oh.
You see, Mina, in the basic education, my focus it's on the fine prints. You know, those things that no
we're
one,
not giving attention.
yeah. So when we talk about what I do, I'm focusing on those things, those small things that no one notices. So I'm doing something that is different. It might be the same, but it's different in terms of what we are doing and what we are focused on. I don't like those big terms. I don't like.
You want to
those-
simplify life.
I want to simplify. I hate them. You come to me and you tell me this big weight. My child has, and I'm like, please. I studied them. They were stressing me. You know, we were studying those things just to pass. Right now, let's forget about. One understand. Let's talk about what is the problem. Okay. Let's see if we can find simple things that we can define, things that we can pronounce. That can be issues to your child's problem, and then we solve that.
I know I think we cannot stop talking. I know you, but I know you're a Jesus girl. The first time I took your number, it was because I was inspired by how much you advocate for the Lord and how you want to live your life. Can you say a few before we close? Words on your love for God and what He does for you.
I'm a church girl. I'm a church girl. I'm a lover for Christ. I'm a preacher of the gospel. I'm the church. I'm a typical church girl. I love God. I love Jesus Christ with all of my heart, and my journey with Christ has been so fulfilling. I have learned a lot about myself and everything that I am doing. I mean, I can give education credit, maybe 30%, but 70% of everything that I am or what I am doing and what I have discovered, I think I have to give that to God and my relationship with Him and the things that He reveals to me, the kind of a relationship I have with Him. Sometimes certain issues, like Elena will come with spiritual issues, and the parent does not even know it's a spiritual issue. And I will find myself tapping into that mode. And then I will tell the parent it's a spiritual problem. It's not a psychological problem. It's not any other problem, but this is spiritual. So that is how my spirituality plays a very important role in everything that I am in my career. Sometimes I would study something, psychology, and then I would say, no. Let me go check from the Bible. I don't believe this. And then I will use the Bible as a reference. After using those theories, I will go and check if it's relevant. Does it go with
the maker?
Yes. So yes.
How can people get hold of you? And here in Wheatbank, where are you? Where are your offices?
Okay.
And how can we get hold of you?
Yes. I'm very flexible, by the way. I don't really have offices as yet.
Okay.
But I am working with learners from different places. However, right now I have an after-school program that I am running called Lukshin, which is basically something that I designed for Abantwana Base-Lukshin. And I've heard that there's a demand. I've been getting calls that there's a demand
in the uptown.
Side. So maybe before the end of the year we will have something this side. However, I'm based there, extension for Kwakuta.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Ruth, for coming and sharing your passion with us. And you are very well articulate. You know what you're talking about. I'm inspired, and I'm grateful that most of us as parents, we will get the help that we need, that we even never thought we needed. Thank you so much for coming. Do you have any last words to say?
I can say to learners mostly, don't be hard on yourself. Sometimes failure makes people think it's the end. So it's never the end until you meet the right people who can help you get through whatever you want in life. So don't be discouraged. Don't kill yourself just because your grades are not well, just because your parents do not believe in you, just because teachers do not believe in you. So don't be hard on yourself. Even to parents, they should never be hard on themselves. There's no manual for parenting. We are learning each and every day. That's all I can say.
In that regard, guys, angisafuni nokumosha yabo. Goodbye. We'll see you again next time.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.